Good morning, guys. Okay, it's Tuesday, the 25th of September. I've just been triggered into a short position on the FTSE 100. So as always, with the live trade, what I'm going to do is sort of talk you through what I'm looking at on the market. I'll give you the analysis for the trade, and then if I'm making any decisions, changing anything with the trade, I'll sort of talk you through and explain why I'm doing what I am doing. So, first thing is yesterday on this market, I was looking for rejection up in this 7498 zone. It's a fairly key level of resistance on the FTSE. Now, we had a couple of tests. We actually had 1, 2, and 3 tests yesterday. And then we had the strong move down from 1140 all the way down to 7450. Unfortunately, it didn't set up in a way where I was happy to get into any of those trades. So yesterday, had the correct analysis, got the nice move down on the market, but I just had to sort of sit out and watch the market make that movement. I wasn't confident of getting into any of those trades. And if it doesn't line up properly, I just skip the setup because it's more important to me that I don't get into what I consider poor trades than I take a potentially poor trade and maybe sometimes it wins. Okay, so the market is coming down now to test at this zone. Now, really, looking at this potential setup, we have yesterday created this sort of sloping support and resistance level. This morning we've broken up above it, we've came down, we've tested, and we've bounced. So potentially there's another bullish bounce coming in the FTSE. Potentially we're heading up into 7515. So first thing I'm going to do now that we're in some profit is I'm going to get this stop to the break-even level. So you'll see first thing is I always put it just below the entry. Or if I'm buying just above the entry. It's just, a little bit of psychological. If it comes and stops me out, I'd rather it stops me out with a tiny little bit of profit rather than a tiny little bit of loss. Just, it helps you when you're looking through your results. If you see lots of little profits rather than lots of little losses, it's just one of those things that helps me deal with the trades. Now, okay, so really I'm looking for at least 10 points on this trade. The reason I'm being a little bit cautious is I'm not sure it's going to make that move back down. Now that we've broken out of this sloping support and resistance level, as I've mentioned, there is the potential for that bullish bounce. So that's why I've got my stop to break even. It may just be a break even trade. I'm not really looking to get out of it unless we get to at least that 10 points. And then potentially I may just lock in some profits and look for that stronger move down if we can get it. So with this entry as well, with yesterday, with that sort of waiting for the trade, that happens to me. I am maybe a little bit overly cautious on a lot of setups. I'll have, the exact same analysis I gave to my subscribers, looking at this level as key resistance. We had 3 rejections up there. I have no doubt that some of them took that entry and got a nice trade. But for me, it was a little bit too choppy. I didn't really want to get into it and have a bounce and then get stopped out on the trade. But through sort of experience, I've learned that that's how I need to trade, because if I don't trade in that way, then I start making stupid ass mistakes. And I just sort of learned that over time. If you are maybe new to trading, or maybe you are trying to sort of get used to that psychological aspect of trading, because it's really important, you have to sort of build up that ability to make the, I don't want to say correct decisions, I want to say make the correct decisions for you. Because sometimes the correct decision for you is the wrong decision for the market. You'll still get stopped out. So what I'm going to do here is close out potentially 50% of this trade. So I'm just watching, putting a little bit of a bounce. Really, I want to sort of close it out at around about 10 points. So we're finding a little bit of support. As I mentioned, we've got this little swing point. There is the potential for a bounce here, but I'm looking for the 10 points to close out 50%. Okay, so 50% is now locked in, so that's £250 on the trade, and I'm going to let the remainder now run. Yeah, so when you're making decisions when you're trading, the decision can still lead to a loss. So that's why I'm saying, the decision has to be correct for you. And the decision being correct for you is really important, especially when you are trading live, because you're going to be under pressure. So I'm trying to think. If you want to start learning how to deal with the crazy things that go on in your head when you're trading, before you start risking money, because when you're working with a demo account or paper trading, it is really different. It's only when you start risking money that that sort of voice in your head really starts to pick up. That's why, also, when you're starting to learn to trade, you're usually doing it with small position size, and it still is very tough. That's why I don't really understand all these trading educators out there who are, they're trying to teach you and they're trading 2, 3, 4, 5, £6 a point, because I don't know, it's completely different. It's like turning up to your cycle proficiency class and hoping that's going to teach you how to ride a super bike. It doesn't work. But anyway, if you're looking to start building maybe that understanding of how to deal with the emotional side of trading, what you can do is, it's something that I would say would maybe mimic the same sort of feelings, is when you're at your computer, you can maybe be paper trading, or you can be demo trading, whatever. Have your boyfriend or your husband or your wife or your girlfriend, even maybe one of your kids, have them sort of sneak into the room when you're trading so you don't see them, and then have them come up behind you and have them just sort of set you on fire. And then when you start to catch light, that's going to be what it's like when you're trading, because sometimes it feels like the entire world is burning around you and you don't have any idea what it is that you're supposed to be doing. But seriously, you do need to start figuring out ways to cope with emotional trading, and just the general stresses that come with trading. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my eye on this trade because we are now coming down to this sloping support level. I don't really want to just blindly hold on to this. I've just actually also realized that I've closed out 50% of the trade at 10 points rather than 14 points, which was my stop level. That's a little bit of a mistake. I said when I closed in 50%, it was £250. It wasn't £250. It was, what will it be? £175. It's a little bit frustrating. Sometimes when I'm sort of watching what I'm supposed to be doing, talking on the camera, managing the trades, you can just make little mistakes. Okay, so looks like we are holding at this sloping support level. What I am actually going to do is potentially just lock in these profits. I'm going to give it this candle, see if we can start to make another little move down. So there you go. That's actually a perfect example. For some reason, when I'm doing videos, very often what I'm talking about can sort of like play into the video. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to start looking for potential bullish bounce now. I am actually going to close this trade out. So we're only going to get another £110. So we're on about, what is that, £275 to £300 locked in. Yeah. When you're trading, there's lots of things to think about, especially because I'm also talking to the camera. I'm trying to sort of explain what I'm doing. There's a lot of things to do and you can start to make mistakes. What I'm actually going to do is pause this video and quickly set up this next trade. Okay, so now we are back into another trade. It's pretty much lined up exactly with what I was looking for this morning. We got that press up, we got the rejection, so we got the trade. I managed to lock in some profits, which gives me a little bit of sort of wiggle room. We then got instant support after we got that move back down. It's pretty much at that sloping support level that I was looking at. So I was happy to get into another setup. Now we'll see how this one gets on. Potentially a move back up into this zone up above. Yeah, we'll see. So what you've seen with the last trade is I made a mistake in the calculation. Now, it's a little bit easier for me when I'm trading because I've done it so many times, but if you're new to trading, those kinds of mistakes can come very frequently. I came with this one because I was doing the video, trying to look at my chart, trying to explain what I'm doing. And it's not an overly significant mistake. I took a little bit less profit than I should have took, but I still locked in profit. But when you're trading live, very often you're going to have those mistakes. And the problem is when you have a mistake, it's very easy to start getting very annoyed at yourself and then start to make further mistakes. That's why I'm talking about, having people come in and sort of simulating the stresses that you'll be under. I don't actually suggest someone comes in and sets you on fire, so I'm not taking responsibility if you tell your spouse to do that. Okay, so for this one, I'm looking for basically the move back up again. What is this candle? This candle is 10.5 points. So we're using the same risk. So really, if I can get back up there into, let's have a look. So we got 6 points, we're about 10 points. If we can get back up toward those highs again, I'll potentially look to lock in profits once again, and then I'll look to let the trade run. So that's actually also yesterday, no trades. It worked out very nicely with exactly what I was looking for. But into today, we're at 8.22. We've had one trade at 8.05, which worked out nicely. Had another trade at 8.15. Don't know how this one's going to work out, but that's the sort of differences. You know, sometimes you're trading very frequently, sometimes you're trading infrequently. It's all about waiting for your setups where you are happy to get into the trade. It's actually another thing with trading. You don't know when your trades are going to come. So for the start of this month, the first week of this month was like perfect. You know, everything just worked easily. There was trade after trade after trade. It was profit, profit, profit. And then when that happens, I see this all the time. When you have that period, people start to think, okay, I figured this shit out. I am on my way now. I know exactly what to do. And then what happens is the market cycle changes a little bit. And then the next week, you're expecting the same thing. And so you're trading in the same way, and it just doesn't work. So the first week was amazing. And then after that, it's been a lot more choppy. I've had to sort of fight for the profits. You know, you take the win, you maybe have another day where you're not trading, then you take a loss, then you take another win, another loss, and then it starts chipping up very, very slowly. And that's the majority of the time what you're going to be doing as a trader. You know, you're going to be sort of clawing for these profits, and then you'll have the easy periods. But the important thing is you protect yourself until those easy periods come. It doesn't even matter if you don't make profits in the other periods. As long as you protect yourself and you can sort of spin your wheels until you get to the easy period. And then at the easy period, you just get those profits really, really nicely. Whatever your trading plan is, it doesn't really matter. With most trading plans, you're going to have a period where the trades are going to work out quite nicely. Okay, so with this trade, there's not too much to go over at present. I am looking for the press back up, at least into this zone up above. When we start testing up here, I will get my stop to break even. What I'm going to do is pause the video, and then I'll turn it back on if this starts to make the break higher, or if we start to break back down once again. Okay, so we are still in the trade. It is starting to break down toward that stop out level. It made the press up into 474. However, it's found resistance. It's broken back down. It is holding underneath the moving average at present. It is looking like it's going to come down and take me out for a loss. Now, the first trade, I looked at it again, only £281.60 of profit. This one, if it comes down and stops me out, will leave me back in the negative for the day, which is a little bit frustrating. I'm just sort of keeping my eye on the trade. It is coming down toward that stop level. Yeah, I mean, with trading, you've got to sort of take the ebbs and the flows, as I mentioned. When you've got your setups, you have to take the trades. Sometimes it's lots of profits. Sometimes you've got to give some, you've got to take some back. And that's just the way it works out. What I'm actually going to be doing now is, because I'm posting this as a live trade, if it comes down and stops me out, it's very close. This will be the second loss in a row that I've posted. So a smaller loss this week, but I'm waiting for all the sort of conspiracy theorists to start coming out of the woodwork and saying, I don't know what I'm doing, you shouldn't be trading, you've posted 2 losses in a row, how can that be possible? Yeah, I mean, it's all part of trading, guys. Okay, so stopped out on the second one. Looks like it was around about £515, £530 of profit. So that now leaves me slightly down on the day. We had £281.60 first. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back to following the process. I'm going to start looking for another setup. A little bit frustrated with that one because it had a nice confluence of the sloping support and resistance level. We had potentially seen that break up and the pullback to retest at the level, but we just didn't get the bullish press higher that I was looking for. Okay guys, we're now just coming up for 20 past 10 in the morning. So 3 for the price of 1 today. Well, I guess actually you could say 4 for the price of 1. So when the market came down and stopped me out right here. It then produced a very, very strong engulfing candle right after, which for me was another potential signal. So right after a stop out, another signal candle can be difficult to get back into the market when that happens, but it was lining up properly. And it was a good potential entry for me. So what it means is it just came down, just nipped out my stop level, and then has reversed somewhat. I use quite a tight stop. I use quite a tight stop because it allows me to get better risk to reward on the profitable trades. But the drawdown is that you do suffer more losses on occasion. And sometimes you'll have losses like this where it'll then reverse and put in a little bit more of the move that you were originally looking for. So the market then pressed up, it put in a little bit of a pause, and we got a pullback. So strong move up, rejection and a pullback, and then a potential second entry candle right here at 10 AM. Now the way I was looking at this candle, so the second candle and also the first candle, is that we'd created this swing point here, and we had a pullback. Then we had a very, very strong bullish candle. So it's very likely for me that it's going to come up and test at this level. Now, when we pressed up, we started to get this flat section. You know, the market is just moving sideways. It's not really doing anything. We then got the pullback. Now, as we got this pullback, instead of breaking down, so we've created this sideways price action, this would be looked at as the potential breakout of that range. The market didn't break down. Instead, it held and it put in a little bit of support. So for me, what it's telling me is it's had a breakdown which has failed. And if it's failed to the downside, it's likely going to succeed to the upside, and it's going to at least test this swing point. So I was happy to get into a second entry, which is using a little bit of a tighter stop and also a little bit of a tighter profit target. But now with both of these trades, I am still looking for the market to come back up into this 7477 level. We'll see how we get on. We are now testing at this swing point. I would like to see the market breaking up, making a nice strong movement. This blue line here is for the second position, this one here. This is basically where I'm going to start looking for potential profits. So around about 10 points, I am risking £50 per point on that one, so that would be around about the £500 level, unless we just see a very strong move up. If we see that, obviously I'll hold on to the trade. If we don't see that, and we start to hesitate up here, I'll likely just take profits or at least get my stop to break even. Okay, so I don't want the overall video to be too long, so what I'm going to do again is I'm going to stop it, and I'll turn it back on if the market starts to move one way or the other. Okay guys, so the market has now pressed up. We're sitting at around about £1,050 for both of these trades. I am going to close them both out, 1 and 2. Okay, so now for the day, including the loss, we should be sitting up around about £780 to £850. Now, for today, we had the win, we had the loss, and then we had the two winners. Now, if I could extend that out over sort of weeks and months and years, that is exactly what trading is like. You know, this video more than any other one. Your trading is going to look like this. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Then you'll get your move up. Then you'll get your drawback. And you'll maybe get another little move up. And what you've got to understand is that these parts, the parts where it really gets to your head, the part where you really start to struggle, it's just part of the process. You need to get comfortable with it. As soon as you get comfortable with it, you can then start to make your progress. Okay guys, so I'm going to call that a day. As I was making the end of this video, my dad has actually turned up for a visit, so he is now sitting in the living room by himself. I'm going to turn the charts off and go and grab a coffee. So, as always, I hope that was helpful. I hope you've all had a great trading week. I'm James Orr, and thank you.